Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex P. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Tuesday, February the 6th. Ian Cameron, and we have a special guest joining us today, originally from Germany, now in Sweden, and a hockey player, coach, scout, doing a lot to further and strengthen, if you will, hockey over in Europe. It is a very interesting story about this man's background, and we're happy to have him on this show, William Von Gottsche. Joining us here on the Ice Guys show. William, welcome in. And let me just start by saying, if you were someone was donating blood to you, you'd basically be requesting three types of blood. You know, a little German blood, a little Finnish blood, and a little Swedish blood. Yeah. Because you've got a little bit of all three, as you were saying to me before the show, in you. But it's great to have you on the Ice Guys show. Welcome, and tell us a little bit about your hockey background.
Thank you, Ian, for introduction here. No, I mean, as I said, before I started young playing hockey, I was also doing some other sports as well. But when I turned 15, then hockey was the sport I choose, and continue playing and coaching and helping out. And yeah, and then when I was 24, I think I had problems with my knee, and then I went away from the hockey some years. And one of my friends actually asked me to come back and play again. That's when I went put into the coaching in Lerum, actually, where you have a lot of great players as well. And it went from there to different teams, to Canada, and to scouting, everything. So right now I'm just consulting a lot of different teams and helping players go to Canada and also US, different contacts. And actually looking forward to coach maybe a team offshore somewhere someday, because Corona actually made it really hard to fly over. So looking forward to that. Still just watching.
Made it hard to do a lot of shit back up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, crazy, man. It's crazy. So yeah, still loving the sport and playing some stuff as well, just for fun. Going ice skating, and helping other people to evolve in the sports and giving information and being a supportive part in their life as well. So
yeah, that's awesome. And there's so many times whether it's retirement and it's by choice and you get to play 10, 15, 20 years. We had so many players on this show, current, former players. They want to stay connected to hockey even after they hang up the skates, whether it's in management and coaching or scouting or training or some kind of attachment to the game because they love it so much. For you, William, obviously, look, career cut short. It was not by choice for you. You suffer a debilitating injury and your career's cut short, but you said, I love this sport. I kind of want to give back to it in some way. And I just love working with the young kids. And sure enough, coaching and scouting was right up your alley. So how long now have you been doing this since you finished playing?
Since 2016, I've been doing the coaching. And wow. Then 2019, somewhere 20 there, I got into the scouting as well, because I was finished with the coaching in Kungälv. And I finished my mission right there to help them with everything. And I got picked from a guy who was actually in Färjestad in SHL, Sweden. He was drafting me to scout for Muskoka Shields. So I flew over there and met the coach as well, everything. And then I got picked up by the team in Alberta, Ice Dogs, Slave Lake. So I was supposed to go coaching there, but I got the Corona fucked everything up. Sorry for the language. But
no, that's all right. It's all good here. Okay. Anything goes.
No, Corona, messed a lot of things up. So yeah, I continued to help them with the team and Slave Lake and coaching and trying to be a consultant, different teams in Sweden as well. I have a lot of players from Muskoka right now. I'm talking to, helping them get around. Also Swedish players, helping them as well go offshore. Just waiting for the next opportunity to train as well or coach out offshore. So that's where I'm looking at right now, and just doing some ice skating, playing some stuff, and doing some education as well. There are always new courses the hockey you call it in English, a hockey union, like the hockey union. Yeah, they
Yep.
were sending requests to come to like visit different NHL players from Sweden, visiting and having this kind of conference and stuff, telling about their career and everything like that. Just staying in it, being fresh and with fresh information like this. That's good.
And
But
we were talking about the J18 league, William, of course, before we started, and this is the Premier Junior League, under 18 league, I should say, over in Sweden. Have you come across some kids that you've seen go through that program that you've personally worked with that have really made their way into the pro ranks over the 8 years now? You've probably been able to see people roll through that J18
yeah,
and see
I've
them
seen it.
develop and turn into having pretty good careers now, maybe at this point. So tell us a little bit about some of those players you've been dealing with.
I actually, when I started coaching in Lerum, I actually have some of the kids actually go to Frölunda as well in Sweden. And that's a real big step for them. And I asked them, I was so proud of them when they made this step, and they said, yeah, it's because we have a good coach. And I said, yeah, because it's like you need to have all the educations and all this background and also have this experience with kids. And I have a lot of cousins. We have like on my mother's side, like 40 or 50 of them. And a lot of them I have taken care of when I was younger. And this is like, when you get this experience, then you have an easy hand with kids and know exactly how to do it and how to talk to them, how to motivate them. Because I have a really good coaches as well when I was growing up in different hockey clubs, and that kind of experience, sticks with you. Like, okay, this is how we handle the kids. This is how we talk to them. Like this is how we motivate them to do this. Like, and I mean, these kids, they're coming right now from different ages. They're so intelligent. They're so smart. Like, I remember when you and me, we were younger, like we were going around drooling, the snot was coming out. We had no clue what we were doing. But these kids, like,
I still
6
have
or
no
7.
clue what I'm doing on an ice rink, William. I can't even skate without falling ass backward on my ass. So, that's why I'm doing this instead. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you have kids like coming up like 10, 11 years old, and they're doing these tricks. I've seen also in Canada and US, also in Europe.
Yeah.
Even like China and even in Japan, they're doing the tricks like you're like, shit, I was not
through
even
the legs,
doing that
backhand roof
Yeah,
shot
oh my
through the
God.
legs. I mean, crazy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yep.
Because they're evolving, because they have information, they have good coaches, like they can learn so much just watching YouTube. Like, so we need to like embrace this and face the new evolution of the kids, and with new thinking and everything. Like, we cannot do it like we did it before. We need to take it to a new level, and it's so fun to even see NHL young players coming up, even the junior hockey national championship that was here in Sweden, in Gothenburg, for different teams from all around the world. Like, seeing that and how they evolve, like, yeah, it's crazy. It's so fun to see it. I love seeing people evolve and like going forward. Like, I'm always so happy to see them success, and getting the things they want, and I mean, get the things they're working for. I mean, and also from Kunga, we have a lot of players who went far, really far, and got a good contracts. Like, and they were picked like from like 15 or 16 years old. They were picked for like to this SHL in Sweden team, really good teams. So yeah,
And that
it's
Swedish Elite League, as you know, William, it's a very good league to prepare players to play professional hockey at a high level. It's a very defensive league. Like, if you're going to play in the Swedish Elite League, you better back check. You'd better play a 200-foot style of hockey game, because it's going to be tough for you to stay at that level, because defense and just being structured as a team, that's basically demanded, in the Swedish Elite League. That's a league that is well known, even over here in North America, for being, you got to play with structure and you got to play with defense. And each individual has to be a good player, not only with the puck, but away from the puck, if they're going to make it and stick in the Swedish league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to have everything. It's the wideness. It's like the industrial thing in Sweden as well. We have the wideness. We don't have just one angle. We have every angle.
Yep.
That's the thing we are teaching them, the kids growing up, from littles. We want them to have the angles and have the wideness of it and the strength to do everything. Like even if you're forward, you have to have the thinking of a defensive player or the center as well. Like, how does everything work? How does the goalies things work? Like, it's so important to have the whole picture when you're playing, and that makes you a better player because I mean, everyone has to have the thinking of that you're a CEO on the ice. Okay, even if you have your area on the ice, you have to have the wideness of it. That makes you a better player. That makes you see the game better. It makes you even have the ability to see before something's gonna happen. Okay, if I move the puck over here,
You can't
then
have
those
tunnel
guys are gonna
vision
move.
playing hockey.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
way.
yeah. You
Yeah.
cannot. It's
No.
impossible.
No.
Like, and even the education they're learning right now, we're learning from even from Frölunda. We're going to those educations over there, and even for the hockey union in Sweden, they're teaching this. Like, we want the players to be even have more strength. We want them to have more like wideness of the game, and we're even teaching them from the books that we are teach on the educations that we want the wideness as well, and we want to make them like entrepreneurs, like the CEOs on the ice, like that they think of everything, and
You
like
own the ice. Show
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, and
Yeah.
we also try
Yeah.
to teach them to coach as well when we were teaching them, like, okay, because if we give them the perspective of each different, like if each different angle of it, like, okay, this is how the coach is doing it, this is how the goalie is doing it, then they know how to prevent stuff from happening on the ice because they know the consequence. If I move the puck over here, if I do like this, if I do like that, if I go up in the middle, okay, then the other players on the other team, even to read the other team, like giving them information and teaching them to play. Like, we even took the players from Kungälv to some games to just sit and teach them how to look and how to see the faults in the different teams. Like, okay, this player, he's really good. They always pass the puck to him. He always go on the left side. Okay, he always back checks. He always go when they're playing the box play. He always go to the right corner on the side of the goal to stand there, and he always shoots the same shot. If you can like see those steps and prevent that, you know exactly when they pass the puck, you can just intervene, take the puck, and you go.
Wow.
And probably and we did this
Makes
several
sense.
times, and that's why we won the whole series and they went up to elite, because we were actually reading the opponent's play and we were teaching the kids how to read it. We were taking them to games with our opponents were playing to see, so we can teach them exactly what we were doing as coaches. So if you give them the angles, then you get a lot of players. And like, if they don't want to play the hockey, maybe they get an injury, they can coach. Like, we wanted to stay inside the sports, because even if they get, they have a short career or they break something, or they can't play anymore, they can still provide a hockey nation with like information, with maybe they open a company that
They can
helps
stay connected
hockey.
to the game.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Exactly. We want to stay inside
Yep.
the hockey because it's so important, because they can raise other players and give them so much information and experience and like help them with everything. Like, as a coach, you don't even like you don't only help them on the ice, you help them with the mentality as well. You help them with everything. Like, they ask you about everything. And you have to be there 24/7. They can call you like 10 at some Friday night, like, hey, bro,
Friday
coach,
at midnight. Hey, I
yeah,
got a
yeah,
question or something.
I
That's
have a
pretty
question
good.
of this,
Yeah.
like, or they take like the math book with them to the rink, and they
I'll
want
be
to like
honest.
ask.
If I was in your shoes, William, some kid calls me for some advice for his hockey game at midnight on a Friday, I'm kind of say, come on, man, I'm at a fucking party. Can you wait till Monday with this? I'd have a hard
No, 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 no. I always answer. Like, I try to always answer, to be available,
You can't
because
just wait. Yeah.
yeah. I can't wait. I mean, it's a hockey question. It's really important.
No, that's
There's no
great. That's
party
awesome.
or no drink that can be
No.
more important than a hockey question, like from a fellow hockey player. Like, so it's important. Yeah,
That's
to bring
great.
in
Well, that's
the
awesome. That's awesome that you make yourself, available at all times. for the kids that you work with, coaching wise, and that's great.
Mm.
Now, I find that, and you mentioned this, you kind of want to these kids to accentuate their hockey personality, their skill, and not hide it, not be afraid to show it.
Nope.
And I can only imagine there's some old school coaches, and I'm thinking of your Daryl Sutters in the NHL, and some of these old school donkey dinosaur coaches that just can't stand. They probably about to have a spasm or a fit when they watch some kid pull off the Michigan move these days in the NHL, or a backhand roof job through the legs. Any kind of shot like that, and you've got those old school dinosaur coaches saying, I can't let my players do that. That's not the way you're supposed to play the game. But
Nope.
things are changing now. It's 2024.
Yeah.
The skill level is as high or higher than it's ever been before. And if you can pull off these kind of maneuvers, dangle through the legs, dipsy-do, and be able to pull off a Michigan lacrosse style move and score a goal with it, you guys, from the sounds of it, say, hey, if you've got the ability to hone your skills and improve your skill level to be able to pull off a move like that and be able to score a goal in that style, go for it. We support you 1,000%, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't do it, if you don't do the mistakes, you would never learn. Like, we had some players in the Yate in Kunga as well. I told them, like, if you try to bait the opponent player, the right wing player, because he always goes higher. I know exactly the play this team uses, and I said, try to bait him down. And I said, how? You're really good with the stick. You can do some moves and maybe tunnel him, and he would be gone. Then the center and all the defenders will like move upwards on the ice, and that will make it possible for you to do a pass through them. And we're gonna have the left forward coming up. It's gonna be a left forward against the goalie every time, and we did it. He said, "Bro, but our old coach said we cannot do the maneuvers behind the goalie." I mean, okay, if you lose one goal, that's nothing. Like, if you're doing this and you manage to do it, you're gonna learn to do it next time better. And he did it, and he managed to. We got like 3 scores by doing that. Just to pass on the corner, they did the same thing every time. We just baited them down to the corner. He made a maneuver, and the right wing forward came down, and the left wing as well, and the center went up, and the defenders also rose. So it was behind the red line. It was clear. Just pass the puck, easy. It's all about the used. Oh my God, I don't know the name in the word in English, but the strategy.
Yeah.
If you have a good strategy when you're playing, it's like you're playing a game. Like,
strategy
you're playing
in the O-zone, offensive zone.
Yeah. It's like you're playing. This is how I talk to the kids. Like, if you want the kids to listen, you have to talk something that they know. Like, Battlefield, Fortnite. Say something like that, and you have their attention if you're talking about Fortnite on PlayStation. Oh my God, they're gonna listen everything you say. So if you're talking Fortnite, say, when you run into a guy, he has a sniper. You need to know exactly how to take him down, and you're baiting him. The same in hockey. If you can use the same thinking in the hockey, it's a strategy. If you can use the same strategy to bait them or to lure them, we want the play to be easy. We want minimum energy loss when you're playing. Don't do like this energy loss moves when you're like so tired because you did this skating, instead of thinking, okay, if I pass the puck over here and I move over here, this guy's going to follow me. I'll be open in the middle. I can just go. We want them to use the same thinking as they use when they're playing the games, because it's a game. Hockey is a game, and it's all about how you're thinking of it.
And you have to think at a high level of speed too.
Yes.
You got to think fast. It's not just move fast and be in the right position. You got to think fast.
Yeah. And also how you're moving is affecting the other team's players, because if you're moving the right way and you're luring them, they're going to follow you, and you're going to open up space on the ice that your mates can go, and you can pass the puck easy.
Exactly. As long as you don't have that tunnel vision. If you've got the whole scope of the ice open, you're keeping your eyes, your eyes got to be wandering eyes, if you will. You've got to be able to see the options when they're there, because look, it's a high rate of speed, this sport. You've only got that 1 second, 2 seconds maybe to make that decision that you need to put yourself in a position to be in a scoring situation, a scoring play, a scoring chance, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's when we were teaching this, me and my fellow coach, they were like, "No, this can't be like it can't be this easy." And when we showed them on the ice, they were like, "It works. It actually works." I said, "Yeah, well, because the hockey is not like it was before. Everyone was so big, they were just tackling and crushing each other. You were losing so much energy by doing this." And I know it's TV and in NHL and SSL, they in the Swedish leagues as well, they do a lot of tackling. It's of course it's cool, they think, but you can also get an injury or injure something if you're doing it the wrong way. Instead of playing it smart, you will lose lesser energy and you will make the game go faster because you're using the eyes and their opponent's minds instead of just going around like a gruff. If you've seen the poor ice hockey before, because it was the same in Sweden. Everyone was so big, I remember we were at the gym. Everyone wanted to have huge muscles because that was the hockey was about, tackling people. And even now we have some teams on the SHL in Sweden that are still big, but then when they meet maybe like Frölunda, you can see it's a total different team.
Yeah.
They are small. They have more strong muscles, but they're faster, more flexible, more agile, and they're thinking more instead of just being brutes on the ice. You can see it. That's why they're so far ahead, Frölunda. When you're at their education, you talk to the guys that are doing the exercise for their SOL team, and also for the younger kids and J20 like this and J18 and U16. They're talking about, like the skiers. They're doing the same exercise. They want a slim body, strong at the edges, far out, so they can go up and down fast and do this like Ovechkin, lying on your back doing the backflip in the goal.
One of the more incredible goals you'll ever see when he did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Arizona.
It was a crazy goal I've seen.
Yeah.
That. They're working with the edges because you need to be slim. When you're slim, you lose less energy because muscle takes energy. It's all about the calculation. It's all about the math. Play
Absolutely.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome stuff, William. You can tell this guy knows a thing or two about X's and O's and getting players to accentuate their skill, be in the right position, make the right play with the puck, given the situation, given what they see on the ice. So just really interesting hearing the X's and O's breakdown like that. It's really cool. Someone in our chat asking, is William applying to become the Sabres head coach? I don't know. It sounds like his X's and O's strategy could work in Buffalo right now with the talent that they've got. Maybe we need William's input there with the Buffalo Sabres. Get them out of the shitstorm that they're in this season.
Yes. No problem. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
If they're calling, I'll fix it.
Tage Thompson. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. 100%, no doubt. Before we get into the NHL, we'll, of course, as always, we'll preview the Tuesday night games here. We've got 8 of them in the NHL. I did want to ask, because you're in Sweden right now, what was the country like for hosting the World Juniors just recently around Christmas time? Obviously, it was an event won by the U.S. They won in the gold medal game against Sweden, unfortunately breaking the hearts of the home country there, the host nation. But what was it like for Sweden there, William, where you are hosting the World Juniors a month or so ago?
I was amazing. A lot of people from all around the world, and they were so friendly and everything. It was really good. I mean, Sweden is a hockey nation. It's always same in Finland. Like if you were there, like it was so nice. People were, it was the tension was so good, and like the vibe was amazing. Like just loving hockey. And I know that like the Canadians and the US, they all will love Sweden. We know it. We can see when they were here. Everyone was so happy. So it was really fun. I mean, sure, we lost, but I mean, you have to think in the long run how many juniors they have won before and the work they have done before. I mean, it's a
that
really
was still a
good
very
team.
good Swedish team.
Yes,
very good Swedish team. I mean, they've
amazing
got surefire
kids.
NHLers. I was very, very impressed with so much of the talent on that World Junior hockey team for Sweden. It was very, very impressive. No question about that. I thought they played themselves well. We know Elias Pettersson right now for Vancouver. He's outstanding. The other Elias Pettersson, the guy that played for the World Junior team this year for Sweden. He's going to be pretty damn good too, defenseman.
Mm.
I was very impressed with his play. It was a really, really good team overall. Again, just very impressed with what I saw from Sweden, even though the U.S. beat them in that gold medal game. But that Axel Sandin Pellikka is going to be, I think, really, really good. Tom Willander, who's another Canuck prospect as well. So we're going to have a mini little Team Sweden going on with the Vancouver Canucks here in a few years.
I mean, it's 14% of NHL players from Sweden, so it's kind of impressive right now. It's really proud of those guys, what they're doing, and I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on in Sweden as well. They have a lot of plans, building more ice rink as well, and expanding the sports even higher. So, like just like here in where I live right now, we're having the same ice rink since, I don't know, like 40 years, 50 years back, even more. Before they were playing outside. I remember my father, he was also playing outside the rink. He was actually one of the guys who were helping to build the old rink, and even his father. So I mean, it's a loving sport, and now we're getting new ice rink. I'm just so excited to see what this town can produce. I know we have 4 players from Frölunda. We have Christian Beckman. It's I'm just waiting for it. It's going to be ready next autumn. It's beautiful. It's looking beautiful right now, and I know we're going to produce some really good players here because they love the hockey right here as well, this town. So really excited of what's going to happen. And
yeah, you heard it here basically. Yeah, Sweden hockey boom on the way with the teenage crowd right now in their teenage years and going into their 20s. You're going to see them continuing to bolster things as far as Swedish hockey development with the youth is concerned. And William's certainly seeing a bird's eye view of that from where he is right now. No question about that. Just before we get into Tuesday's game specifically, I mean, just briefly, I'll say about last night. We cashed one of the 2 draw bets with the Avs and the Rangers, and we nearly got the other one with the Leafs and the Islanders. That fell short as the Islanders won 3-2 in regulation, unfortunately, as they get a late goal to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs last night. Great performance by Sorokin in net. And look, you wonder why Sheldon Keefe has had criticism about his team, unable to, have the minute details of the game defensively, and they just have those little breakdowns, in key moments of the game. And we saw it again last night with just 2 minutes to go. They had just tied the game a few minutes ago. You've got to manage the puck well, clear the puck out when you get that chance. Just make sure you get at least the 1 point in the bank and get the game to overtime. And Toronto was unable to do that last night as the Islanders beat them 3-2. But William, before we get into Tuesday's games, let's just get some thoughts from you on this NHL season to this point. Players that have impressed you, teams that have surprised you in a good way, teams that have disappointed you. What have you seen from your view?
Yeah, usually I watch a lot of NHL. I'm gonna make you really disappointed right now, but the last couple of months I have been really bad watching the NHL.
Time difference doesn't help either.
It is. I mean, the thing I've seen is great teams, a lot of new good players coming up from different countries as well, especially Leo Pedersen doing a really, really great job over there. I saw actually the game where you were talking about the Maple Leafs. Yeah, they were under pressure, real under pressure. I mean, I've been in the same situation, like 2 minutes left. We were tied. We were playing J18, and I know exactly how they're feeling. Like a little mistake and you're gone like this. It could be someone falling over something or like some tripping on the puck or some missing something. The stress level like there is, you have to have it on in your head or you're gone like that. It's crazy how it can turn like from so fast from the where you could be like in the lead and then suddenly you're losing the game. Like it's that's the information I had. Yeah, I'm gonna do more watching NHL. Actually, I promise you. So I get more information next time.
Absolutely, no, that's all right. It's all good. That's what I'm here for right now. I'm
Great.
you know what? Like Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon and Sidney Crosby, and I guess you could say even at Pedersen. We'll throw a Swedish connection in there. They carry their teams a lot of nights. I'll carry you here through the through the
Sorry.
Tuesday show here and through these Tuesday games that we
Perfect.
break down. So let's get into it. We will begin with the Dallas Stars taking on the Buffalo Sabres. We've got Dallas -150, road favorites. The total 6.5 here in this game. You look at Buffalo, a team that they're 10 points out. I never say never, but it's now or never for Buffalo. Like if they're going to entertain any possibility of making a run to get into the postseason, it's got to start with a big-time win streak coming out of the All-Star break. Are they capable of it? I'm not sure. I know they beat the Sharks and the Kings before the break, so they actually went into the break on a 2-game win streak. And 2-game win streaks have been rare for this Sabres team, but can they keep that going? And obviously they're facing probably a better team than either San Jose or, of course, LA struggling, at the time that the Sabres played them. So we'll see how this one plays out. Jake Ottinger, of course, all-star goalie Jake Ottinger in net for the Dallas Stars. Ukko Pekka Luukkonen will get the start for Buffalo. They do have a couple of critical injuries, one up front, one on the back end. Very disheartening to hear that Matthias Samuelsson is going to be out for the rest of the season for the Buffalo Sabres. He's actually one of their better defensemen as far as defending in his own zone. And to not have Matthias Samuelsson for the rest of the season, very disheartening here for this Sabres team. And Jack Quinn, who, I'm starting to become concerned about just the injuries this guy's had to deal with. Last year he missed time, early this year he missed time, and now lower body injury. He went through surgery yesterday, and now he's going to be out for the next 8 weeks for the Sabres. So very, very disappointing news there. This is a really tricky game. I mean, I'm not first game out of the break. I'm not looking to lay a big price, so I'm not looking to lay it with Dallas here. But do I trust the Buffalo Sabres? I don't know. I really don't know about that. Let's also not forget there's one little thing to keep in the back of your mind. Now, it was last season. It was a long time ago, almost a full year ago. Wasn't the same Buffalo roster that we're going to see tonight. We've seen some changes. There's a lot of the same players, but there's a couple new faces, namely Eric Johnson, Connor Clifton, specifically on the back end. The last time Buffalo played Dallas, last year, March the 9th in Buffalo, embarrassing it was. It was 10-4 for the Dallas Stars in that game. It was obviously a humiliating night for the Sabres. They got completely crushed in that game, giving up 10 goals. Dallas outshot Buffalo 49-29. 10 goals allowed, all of them by Eric Comrie, who, of course, is currently not with the team at the moment. But just an absolutely disheartening performance by the Buffalo Sabres. And actually, I shouldn't say that. Comrie is the backup goalie to Luukkonen. It was Devin Levi that sent back down to Rochester. So that's always in the back of your mind that if you're Buffalo here, there's going to be a lot of the same players. There's a lot of players that were on that team that lost 10-4 to Dallas last year. They're here again this year. And, that's the Skinner and Thompson and Poso and Peterka, Middlestat, Tuck. I'm not saying that's going to be at the, on the bulletin board for this game that, hey, we lost to Dallas 10-4. We got to shape up. But there's no doubt there's going to be, I think, a little bit of extra incentive for Buffalo. But I just don't know if I can trust them to beat the really best of the best teams. So for me, this is going to be a game where I think I like the both teams to score in the first period over. Small lean to the full game over as well. That's basically what I would be how I would be approaching this game. The Dallas Stars, a very good team, William. What do you think of them? What do you think of the Buffalo Sabres? And what do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, I actually saw the game when they lost 10-4, and I totally agree with what you were saying. Yeah, it was embarrassing. I don't know what the hell was they doing. But as you said, they had a guy who was carrying them through that, and they don't have the same guy this year. I've been a fan of Buffalo Sabres, actually.
I have too. I grew up a Sabres fan. They're my team.
Yeah. I was actually a
try not to say that too loudly
fan
these days, but they are my team growing up. Yeah.
I think you could be surprised by the Sabres this one. Actually, I think they could be surprising because I think they're feeling the hurt from the last game. So, and Dallas Stars are missing the guy you were talking before, that John. What's his name?
Jack Quinn.
Yeah, Jack Quinn. Yeah,
exactly. Well, they're out for Buffalo. Yeah, Dallas is healthy. Dallas is pretty much fully healthy, so pretty impressive. No major injuries for them right now.
So, yeah. I think this is a good one, actually.
Yeah, there you go. So I think William sounds like he might be leaning a little to Buffalo here as a live home underdog. The draw, maybe. I mean, we did see Dallas, you can't ever say Dallas draw is not a bad consideration. 3 of the 4 games before the break went to overtime, so the draw might be worth a look. They just have a knack of not putting away the below average teams and the mediocre teams. We've seen it repeatedly from this group. The last 2 wins before the break, Washington and Anaheim, they needed overtime, for both of those games. So, it's not exactly a team that puts their foot down on the gas pedal for 60 minutes. But Wyatt Johnston, I do like props for him. We talked about him. As long as he stays on the top line, it's worth a look. How about Okposo? On the top line, it looks like with Thompson and Skinner for these Sabres. So keep an eye on that. Zach Benson on the second line, perhaps. And J.J. Peterka was one of the red-hot Buffalo Sabres as far as scoring is concerned going into the break. So those are definitely some of the props that I'm interested in here for this game tonight. All right, Vancouver Canucks and the Carolina Hurricanes should be a good one here. Carolina minus 150, home favorites. The total sitting at 6, and let me see what it is. 6.5 shaded to the under here in this game. Big news for the Carolina Hurricanes, and that's that Pyotr Kochetkov is making his return and will be the starting goalie tonight for the Carolina Hurricanes. He has not played since January 11th. That's the game he got hurt against Anaheim. He's been unavailable for the last 7 games, but finally ready to return from the concussion that he suffered against Anaheim that night. 7-1-2, a .931 save percentage in the 10 previous starts for him in net before that injury. So good to have him back for sure for this Carolina team, no question. Vancouver comes into this game off the break. A lot of Canucks at the All-Star game. And after what I saw from Toronto last night, and look, they didn't play terrible, but they had a lot of players at the All-Star weekend festivities in Toronto, and it kind of looked like it at times with just their puck management and the defensive blunders that we saw from Toronto in that game. That does worry me a little bit about Vancouver in particular, because they had a bunch of guys at the All-Star game over the weekend. And, coming off that, I'm not sure you're going to get that. There's something a little like I am not betting against Vancouver at this price. Not a chance am I doing that. There's no way I would endorse Carolina at this price against Vancouver, who's right now, I think, positioned themselves very nicely as far as Stanley Cup contender is concerned, with the acquisition of Elias Lindholm from the Calgary Flames, just to really make that team even more complete. So it's a fascinating matchup. And sure enough, not only is Elias Lindholm making his Vancouver Canucks debut tonight, first game following the break and since the trade, but this is the team he originally started his career against, Elias Lindholm, the Carolina Hurricanes. So how can you not endorse Elias Lindholm to score a goal or to get an assist or maybe to pick up a couple of points tonight against his old team in his Canuck debut? Why not? And look, I know he's only got 9 goals on the season. Everybody's made a big fucking deal out of the lack of offense for him so far this season. But what Elias Lindholm brings to this team is very, very solid outside of just the offensive component. If the offensive component comes along for Elias Lindholm here with this Canucks team, great. But it's not the be-all and end-all. What he is going to give this team more than anything else is responsible defensive play. That's more important. He's going to win faceoffs. He's going to be responsible, play a 200-foot game. He's going to give you some leadership as well in the dressing room. Not that they don't have any, Vancouver. They've got plenty, but he's just another veteran player to add to the mix. So he's going to give this team a lot. If the offense gets back to what Lindholm did when he put 40 goals up with Calgary, great. But it's not the end of the world, because they've got enough players to be able to score goals and make it happen offensively right now for the Vancouver Canucks. So the one thing that's keeping me off Vancouver, though, is the fact that I didn't love what I saw of all the Leaf players coming out of the break. I worry about that here for Vancouver. I think the price is incredible. You're not going to get the Vancouver Canucks plus 130 very often. And I probably am going to end up, before puck drop, taking a small bite on this Vancouver price at plus 130. But there are some concerns. There definitely are some concerns about this particular spot here for Vancouver going into this game. It is worth noting, by the way, this is another one. I hate to be a broken record, but the game in Carolina last year with these two teams The Canucks won it 4-3 in a shootout. We have seen Vancouver go to overtime back-to-back games before the break, so it's not a bad option for a draw as well here with the Canucks and the Hurricanes in this game. What do you think of these two teams in this matchup here, William? Vancouver, Carolina.
Yeah, after I said the Toronto game, I'm worried as you as well because they were playing the All-Star game. I think they had a too good time over there. So yeah, I think it's good. Two good teams. You were also talking about Lindblom here. I haven't watched these teams so much actually, the Hurricanes or the Vancouver Canucks. I've been focusing on my favorite team, that is Peter Forsberg team. Yeah, I think it's a good draw. But
I
I'm,
do. I
as
think
you
it's
as
very
well.
possible. Yeah.
I think
Close
I'm
game.
nervous as well because they were playing the All-Star game. Yeah, they're going to be tired. I saw the Maple Leafs; they were tired in the last couple of minutes of that game.
Yeah, there's no
They were
doubt.
stressed. They were not in. They were not focused. They were not in control of that. They had a low energy right there. You could see
No,
how they were playing. Yeah.
I agree with all that.
So,
Yep.
I think the Hurricanes gonna give them a match right there. Maybe they
Yeah,
will
I
catch
think.
up.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's to me that's the biggest concern I have, William, with Vancouver tonight is just you know, they had Quinn Hughes and they had JT Miller, they had Besser, they had Pedersen. Like that's a lot of the team that was at that All-Star uh, All-Star week in Toronto. So, now you're playing that and you have Boston next up, and a huge game coming up as well. So, like I say, Vancouver is just there's no way I'm betting against Vancouver getting plus 130. Not going to happen. Just not going to happen because this is to me one of the teams to beat right now in the NHL. I could only look at Vancouver at plus 130, but I'm not rushing to back them in this spot because I do think it's a little bit of a tricky spot. Like I say, if I bet Vancouver, it'll be something very small here. The draw, I think, is live in this game. And like I said, I think Lindholm, from a prop standpoint, is definitely worth a look here against his old team, Canuck debut. I think he'll be, he's already going to be excited, to play for this team that's got all these Stanley Cup aspirations. But definitely, I think that'll be exciting. Pius Suter, by the way, someone that was really playing well before the break for Vancouver, could look in that direction as well. On the Hurricane side, they're still without Andrei Svechnikov. Jordan Martinook is going to be on the top line with Aho and Teravainen. So there's probably some good value there. Marty Necas on the second line with Jack Drury and Bunting. You could take a look in that direction. Even Stefan Nason, even though he's been dropped to the fourth line, he still gets power play time. So those would be a handful of Carolina prop players that maybe I'd be interested in here tonight as well. All right, Philadelphia and Florida. We've got the Panthers minus 190, home favorites, 6 the total in this game. Obviously, what you're going to hope for here if you're John Tortorella and the Flyers is that the All-Star break is the ultimate hit the reset button for this Flyers team because they couldn't have played much worse going into the break. They lost 5 in a row going into the All-Star break, playing just brutal hockey, losing to Colorado, Ottawa, Tampa, Detroit, Boston. A lot of these games, their defensive play just completely suffered. And, it's been frustrating for Tortorella, I know. And they've missed Owen Tippett, who's been out for this Philadelphia Flyers team. But there's some great news for them. It's that Owen Tippett is recovered, returned, activated from the IR. He will be back in the lineup, back in his top line role for the Flyers tonight, returning from that 4-game absence. It's a guy that just got a big contract extension. I think definitely played very well for this Flyers team so far this season. The great goal he scored, that spinorama against Dallas. So, this does have that feel of, get away from hockey for a bit as the All-Star break approached, hit the reset button. You lost 5 in a row. Wouldn't shock me to see the Flyers have a really strong game tonight against Florida. With the Panthers, though, it's tough for me to go against them 4 in a row going into the break. So you've got this classic situation. You got the Flyers playing awful, losing 5 in a row going into the break. Florida playing well, winning 4 in a row going into the break. Do you take a shot that reverses itself here tonight? That maybe Florida, the break disrupts their momentum, disrupts their rhythm a little bit, and that the break kind of allows Philadelphia to, recharge their batteries, forget about the shit hockey they were playing going into the break, and just try to get their game back again. it's a very fascinating game. I'll tell you what, if I see Philly look like they're carrying play and playing well early, and I do want to point out with Philly too, it's worth noting with these losses, the 5-game losing streak, the last 3 of them, they've actually outshot the opposition by a wide margin. 99 to I'm counting it up, 99 to 64 shots on goal for the Flyers in their last 3 games over the opponent, which tells me a couple of things. One is they miss Carter Hart, who, as we know, is away from the team, and it's going to be away from the team for a long time as he deals with the sexual assault case against him and members of that Canadian junior team from 2018. But Ersson and Pedersen Peterson, I should say, Cal Peterson, they have got to be the 2 goalies now for Philadelphia moving forward. And Ersson's game really he definitely struggled a little bit before the break. Can he get his game back on track? Can the team get their game back on track? I'll be honest, guys, I'm tempted by Philly. I am. It's got that feel to it where I think they come out strong. They've got, the guy that's arguably been their best forward this year back in Owen Tippett. Stolarz, not Bobrovsky, getting the start in net for the Florida Panthers as well. So definitely lean to the big dog taking a shot here with Philly. It's just got that feel to it for me that Florida going into the break, riding a high, maybe gets stunted by the break and the days off, and maybe Philly uses the break to kind of recharge the batteries, hit the reset button, and come out of the break swinging with a much stronger effort tonight. So that's the way I'm approaching it here. I'm taking everything lightly for the most part coming out of the break, but I don't think taking a shot with Philly in this spot's the worst thing in the world. And if you look at for Florida too, a lot of their games haven't been easy. Like even some of these wins that they got right before the break, the Islander game, the Pittsburgh game, they went to overtime or a shootout. So keep that in mind. Philly's actually beaten Florida 2 times in a row. 2 of the 3 meetings last year were won by the Flyers, and the Florida win was only a 1-goal win between these 2 teams. As far as the total in this game, 4 straight overs. So look, I know 2 unders last night would concern me a little bit, but I would certainly lean to the over here just based on the fact 4 straight head-to-head meetings, Philadelphia versus Florida, have gone over the total. William, what do you think here, Flyers, Panthers?
I mean, I've been in a situation where we've been losing. I was playing as well. We have 5 losses.
It's a great thing to ask you. What do you think as
Yeah.
someone connected to the sport? Is it good coming out of the team struggling going into the
Yeah,
break?
you're strong.
The team rolling going into the break. Who is
Yeah, I
it
mean,
benefit the break?
I haven't seen the talk going on in the dressing room, but I could say that they're stressed. There are going to be some angers and some, conflicts right there because they're losing so many games like that. And the Panthers, I know they're if you're riding it and you have a streak, if you're not careful enough, you could end up losing that streak because you're getting too much confidence of it. And I mean, and they have been on a leave now. I think that the Flyers gonna take this one. I that's what I'm believing because they're gonna come in with so much energy, Because if you're saying, as you said, they have a lot of shots against the goal, and the Panthers been struggling even when they were winning. So I think they're low on energy, but it could also be a turn on that the Panthers come with new energy because they've been sharpening up the things that they were missing because they were having such a fight to win those wins. So yeah, this is going to be a really interesting game. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. So, but I think the Flyers it's gonna happen something there, and they're gonna bring the energy. I think.
I think so too. I don't think this is
Yeah.
going to be an easy game for the Florida Panthers tonight. That is
No.
just
No.
my thought there. Is that
But they really have to keep on pushing because if they have a 5 streak loss and they're probably low, even if they're coming with a new energy, they're gonna be low on energy. Probably it's gonna be sitting right in the head. It's gonna be not on just only on the ice. It's gonna be in the head of them. Like, can we do this? Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle for them. But if they find the energy to just keep on pushing, I think the Pen is gonna have a real struggle
they
right
have
there.
to get the first goal, Williams. What's going to happen
Yes.
for Philly tonight?
Yes.
If
If the
Florida
Flyers
gets the
the
first goal,
yeah.
that could be the time when the
Yeah.
negative vibes just
Yep.
roll right back in
Yeah.
for Philadelphia
Yeah.
again. So
Yeah. You're gonna see them lose it, or maybe they have the energy. They're gonna struggle. Maybe they get the Panthers get the first goal, and then they just push through it. But if the Flyers get the first goal, you're going to see a lot of energy just dropping off, especially negative energy. I know exactly how they're feeling right now. I've been there. Both the Panthers, I've been there with a 4-streak lead, and we met a team that lost like maybe 8 games or something, and we lost against them because we were too confident.
Right.
And we did this, we were relaxing, and they were just pushing it. And we came in too lazy in that game. Our mindset were something. Yeah, we're the best. We're gonna win this, and that's you have to be careful right there with the energy. Like, so I think they're gonna have a struggle against the Flyers.
No doubt. It should be an interesting game because, like I
Oh
say,
yeah,
this is that classic situation coming out of a break. Team that was playing well going into the break versus a team that was struggling and on a losing streak going into the break. Do the trends continue? Does Florida keep rolling? Does Philly keep struggling? Or do we see an upset tonight? Do we see a stunner where Philadelphia gets back on track? All right, Montreal, Washington. We've got the Capitals minus 160 home favorites, 5.5 the total. So I've basically all season committed to whenever the Washington Capitals are north of minus 130, north of minus 150 as a favorite, I'm going against them, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I do like Montreal here plus the price. I just think in this game, Washington is starting to come back down to earth. Okay, we knew it was going to happen at some point, and now it is. They lost 4 in a row going into the break. Wasn't much better for Montreal. They were only 1-4 in the 5 games going into the break, but they did beat the Islanders and Patrick Waugh, and they lost a tough one in overtime 3-2 to Pittsburgh, where they were able to get back and tie that game, or they actually led that game. Pittsburgh ended up coming back, tying it, and then winning in overtime. Samuel Montembeault and Charlie Lindgren, ex-Montreal Canadiens goaltender, facing his old team, but not the same Lindgren that we had seen earlier in the season. Suddenly, the wheels are coming off, but he hasn't been as sharp. He's given up 14 goals in his last 3 starts, a 3-game losing streak right now for Lindgren coming into this game tonight. You look at this Washington Capitals team, still very much banged up with Backstrom, Kuznetsov. Looks like Max Pacioretty, lower body injury, skated on the top line. I'd be interested in his prop against Montreal. I would, just because he's facing his old team. If he's in the lineup, it looks like he might be for Washington in this game. On the Montreal side of the equation, we know it's still the same, players that were out before the All-Star break. Doc, Dvorak, Brendan Gallagher still looks like he is on the sidelines as well for this team. Slavkovsky on the top line, I think worth a look as far as props go moving forward. And of course, now this is the first game after they traded away Sean Monahan, so there's some shuffling going on. And it looks like Tanner Pearson is a guy that's going to move up to the second line to fill that role. And it looks like they've also called up Lucas Condotta here from the Laval team in the AHL, although he's only got 13 points, 5 goals in 40 games down there, but it looks like he'll be on the third line. Yeah, Gallagher is a suspension. That's right, for the hit before the break. That's why he's out. So, but I like Montreal here, plus 140. This is just a price play for me. Whenever Washington's favored by minus 150 or more, I'm interested. And yeah, for the Capitals props, Terry, it's 100% true. I mean, you got to look at, I would look at Pacioretty if he plays, just because he's facing his old team, his initial team, Montreal. Oshie, of course. And yes, Anthony Mantha. He has been, he's had a resurgence this year. You got to give him credit. He's obviously had a better year, 15 goals already in 43 games, and he scored 3 goals in the last 3 games before the break. So I like that prop as well, no doubt, for Mantha. And I do like over 5.5 here tonight in this game. I think the total's light. I think we'll see some offense, especially with Lindgren regressing in net the last few starts for him. What do you think here in this one, William? Montreal, Washington.
2 great teams. 2 great teams. Yeah, it's going to be a really good game. I can see that. I have not been watching these 2 teams actually so much, but yeah, Washington is a strong team. Even
surprising
Canada,
great team, Washington.
Yes,
but they're starting to come back down to earth a little bit now.
Yeah. But yeah, they have a lot of really good players, a good goalie as well. Have not watched Montreal so much. Have to dig into that more. But it's going to be a really good game. They're going to have a lot of struggle, Montreal. That's for sure.
I think so. It should be interesting here. Like I said, I think though Montreal live underdog because Washington has been a no moss for me when it's been that kind of price range this year. All right, Calgary, Boston. We've got this should be a good game too. Bruins minus 190, home favorite, 6 the total
That's
here in
harsh.
this one. Boston comes into this game. No, here is a team that was absolutely terrific going into the All-Star break. Boston, what was it, 7-1? In their last 8 games before the break, and the focus that they showed on a day where they were honoring Mark Recchi for the Flyers before that game against Philadelphia before the break, and they still ended up going to Philly and just clobbering this Flyers team 6-2. Very impressive stuff from the Boston Bruins, no question about that. Calgary comes in kind of the opposite spectrum here, where you've got this Calgary team 1-4 in their last 5 games before the break. Calgary team that the only win was against Chicago, and by the skin of their teeth as well, getting that victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. They needed a late save from Jacob Markstrom, I remember, against a very offensively challenged Blackhawks team. Otherwise that could have been a tie game late in the third period of that one. As far as the injury situation here with the Flames and the Bruins, it looks like obviously Dubé is away from the team because of the scandal. It looks like Patra is out, but everyone else healthy for the Bruins. Jeremy Swayman, who of course was part of the All-Star game this weekend, will be in net for Boston. Jacob Markstrom confirmed in net here for the Calgary Flames. Should be an interesting battle. Calgary, 10-15 this year on the road, not great. But if you look at the way these teams have played in the past, Boston's won 3 straight. But last year in Calgary, one of the wins was a 4-3 overtime game. The game in Boston, it was 3-1 in favor of the Bruins, but that game was pretty tight, and it was I believe, an empty net goal for Boston that made it 3-1 and put it away. I'm on the draw here. That's the only bet for me in this game. I do have a small piece of the draw, other than some props for this game, and I do have a few for the Boston Bruins. You look at their lineup situation tonight, fully healthy. Jake DeBrusk on the top line, worth a look in my opinion, playing with Coyle and Marchand. You got Pasternak, Zacha, and JVR on the second line. Don't sleep on Danton Heinen or Trent Frederick either. These are guys that have actually stepped up for Boston prior to the break to score some big goals for them as well. And then for the Calgary Flames, there are a couple props that I do like. Sharon Govich was on a roll going into the break. So was Coleman. You could look in those 2 directions. But I'm gonna take a look here at Andrei Kuzmenko here for the Calgary Flames in his debut. He does give them a little bit more offensive punch. The concern here for Calgary moving forward is going to be the reason why Rick Tocchet and him didn't always see eye to eye was because Kuzmenko was a defensive liability at times, did not always play good away from the puck, Andrei Kuzmenko. But what he will give this Calgary team is a little bit of a jolt offensively. And if you watch any of the interviews with Kuzmenko the last couple of days, he looks like he's smiling ear to ear. I think he's happy to be in a situation where, he kind of fell out of favor with Rick Tocchet in Vancouver. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him have a hell of a game and a hell of an effort in his first game and his debut with the Calgary Flames. So he might be worth a look here as far as props go. I don't know about tonight, but moving forward too, interesting thing to note, Jacob Pelletier. He's finally healthy, and he's finally back up with the Flames and in their lineup, although he's only going to be on the 4th line tonight. Keep an eye on this kid. He's got skill, he's got talent, and I think if he gets more ice time and Huska ends up trusting him a little bit more, he eventually is going to be someone that's going to become a bit of an offensive spark for this Flames team. So keep an eye on him, Jacob Pelletier, back with the team playing on the 4th line tonight. What do you think here? Good game here, William, Calgary, Boston.
Oh, horse minus 190 on the Bruins. They've
Big
been yeah. I mean, they were playing really good, the Bruins. So yeah. And with the new guy you were talking about before, the young kid, I think they're gonna have a hard time with that guy this game if they give him more space to play. And Calgary Frames, yeah, good team as well, been doing well. So it's gonna be a really tough match. This, but I'm a little bit disappointed about Bruins, like 190 minus. What the hell? Yeah. But it's
Value.
gonna be
I'm disappointed too. Like if you were to
yeah,
give me
yeah.
-110, I'd be all in on the Bruins here. But -190, no. I mean, you're not going to get any bargains, unfortunately,
No.
with the Boston Bruins right now. I just don't know if I trust. Like Calgary has had a tough time beating Boston the last few, and I don't like their road record
they
lately
have.
and their overall record lately.
Yeah,
Although
but miracles can happen.
exactly, and we just talked about it in the which game was it? The Florida game. Florida was rolling going into the break, but does the All-Star break disrupt their momentum? Could it do that to Boston tonight? It very well could, but I'm not willing to bet that it does. Not
Oh no,
with Calgary. Not with Calgary. A little too
no.
up and down.
Boston's they're
I think
strong. They're strong. A
yeah,
strong team. Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen them push through stuff before, and I don't think they're gonna just relax. For them, the break was just good for them. I think they're gonna come back with more power, more energy than before.
yeah.
So
No doubt. All right, next up, we've got 3 games left here. Winnipeg Jets and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pretty much even money here, -110 on both sides, and the total currently at 5.5, shaded to the over in this game. This is another situation where we've got a debuting player, Sean Monahan, who, of course, obtained by the Winnipeg Jets from the Montreal Canadiens during the All-Star break. And it looks like he will be in the lineup, and it looks like Rick Bowness has him centering the second line between Nikolai Ehlers and Cole Perfetti. It'll be Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Gabe Vilardi on the top line for the Winnipeg Jets. A Winnipeg team that, here, believe it or not, here's a Winnipeg team that didn't play great going in, I should say, to the All-Star break. 3 straight losses, albeit 2 to Toronto and 1 to Boston. Pretty good hockey teams, so you can't really quibble too much. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they had lost 3 in a row, and then they won their final game before the break, coming back to beat Montreal in overtime by a score of 3-2. We'll see how this one transpires tonight, but I'll tell you this right now. You got a Winnipeg team that, to me, is the superior team. They actually have more road wins, 14, than Pittsburgh has, 12. And you're going to give me an even money price. And I think you're going to get some a requisite degree of focus from the Winnipeg Jets, knowing they lost 3 in a row and dropped 3 straight going into the All-Star break. So at this price, I am not passing up Winnipeg -110. I think it's one of my favorite sides on the board here on this card. I think it's a cheap price for the superior team here in this game. You got Hellebuck in net, of course, for the Winnipeg Jets. That is confirmed tonight, and it will be, of course, Tristan Jarry for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But, to me, there's a big difference between these two teams. Pittsburgh on their best night, they've got offensive capabilities. Pittsburgh on their best night, I don't even think they can play average defense on their best night. That's where the difference is between these two teams. You've got a very good defensive team in the Winnipeg Jets with one of the best goalies in the NHL with Hellebuck, and you've got a at times nightmarish defensive team for the Penguins. And I honestly don't know what you're going to get from the Pittsburgh Penguins in net from Jarry one night to the next. Some nights he'll be good, but he's had a lot of nights where he's been pulled and he's been giving up goals he shouldn't. So to me, it's very easy, straightforward decision. And what I love, too, about backing Winnipeg at even money tonight is because I think I'm going to get their best tonight because they know they lost 3 in a row going into the break, didn't sit well with anybody. I think there's some onus that, hey, let's get back on track. There's going to be excitement and adrenaline running through the team with Monahan making his debut. So all things, for me at least, point to Winnipeg here, -110 tonight. What do you think here, Jets, Penguins?
I mean, if I look at the roster, Winnipeg has a lot of good players as well. Morrison's with 27 assists, and but you have Crosby. It's going to be a struggle right there. And
it's shocking to think, William, what they would do without Crosby. Crosby has actually they're only as good as they've not.
He
had
has a team in himself. Just let him on the ice by himself.
They'd be down near the bottom without Sidney Crosby this year.
Yeah. He is owning the ice every time. He's a magician on the ice as well. I mean, if you look at this site I'm looking right now, it's actually the bet is higher on the Penguins than on the Jets. So I think it's going to be a really hard game, but I think the Pittsburgh is going to take this one.
There you go.
I think yeah,
Pittsburgh. It's tell you what, the points that are at stake tonight, it's like life or death for Pittsburgh. They've got to put a run together if they're going to be a playoff team. So it feels like the urgency should be higher for Pittsburgh, but at this price, to me, it's just, for me, a team I trust a lot more, and that is Winnipeg here in this one. As far as props, like I say, I think the Monahan props, why not, first game with the team. Velarde, of course, he's back. He's always a threat, so there's some props to look at on the Jets side of the equation. I'd maybe consider Drew O'Connor. Like, obviously, Rust, Crosby, and Gensel, and Riley Smith is back now for the Penguins, but Drew O'Connor on that second line, there's definitely some value with him in that spot. All right, Colorado, New Jersey. We've got the Avalanche, of course, losing in overtime last night to the New York Rangers. So it's back-to-back for them. New Jersey, it's their first game following the All-Star break. We've got the Avs, a slight road favorite, minus 115 in this game. The total 6.5, pretty much across the board. You know what? There's a couple of things. I really like about this game. What I like about Colorado is you got them off a loss, definitely following last night against the New York Rangers. New Jersey hasn't played in a while. Now, New Jersey is going to have Jack Hughes back. I better double check on that. He was practicing. We'll have to double check, but I think he is supposed to be back tonight because he was practicing yesterday. The fact he was back on the ice and practicing, it certainly led me to think he was going to be playing here tonight. The fact he returned to practice. Actually, you know what? I'm not so sure just yet that he's going to be back tonight. He was at practice, but I don't see him ruled in just yet for this game tonight. So we'll see. It may be still a little bit premature to say he's back. I think it's still going to be another few games, but that is key because the moment he gets back, and I've said this all year, the record of the New Jersey Devils with Jack Hughes and without Jack Hughes, it's been extreme, the difference. There is no question about that. But, I look at this situation here with Colorado. I think the fact that they played last night, they've got a game under their belt. New Jersey's playing the first game in a long time for them. I think in the first period, Colorado's worth a lot. I don't know about win the game. I lean Colorado, but I think in the first period, it's a good situational bet here. Okay, they got a game under their belt. The first 20 minutes really could be a problem for the Devils in this matchup. Plus, New Jersey at home all year. I don't know how to explain it, but they've just had such a very disheartening record this year at home. They've done their best work on the road. 14 road wins compared to just 10 wins here at the Rock at the Prudential Center here in New Jersey. So to me, I like Colorado, but in the first period in particular, I do like both teams to score in the first period. I like the over in the first period, and I like the over in the full game. Of the last two meetings between these two teams, 7-5 Jersey in Colorado and 6-3 Colorado in Denver earlier this year between these two teams. And when you look at the New Jersey situation, Nico Daws, Vitek Vanacek, you're not always sure what you're going to get in net night to night with them. We don't have projection or confirmations yet, but I expect Vanacek for New Jersey, and I definitely expect Justus Onninen, the Finnish goalie, 23 years old, to get the start tonight for the Avalanche after Georgiev got the start last night, and they also waived Ivan Prosvetov. So that makes room for Onninen, I believe, being the backup goalie moving forward for the Avalanche. The problem with that is, while his numbers in the minor leagues have been pretty solid, not so far has it translated to the NHL level. He made just that one start earlier this year in Ottawa. He gave up the 4 goals on 40 shots in that game. Actually didn't play that bad. They actually won the game, but they got a lot of goals for him, 7-4. But last year with Colorado, .854 save percentage, 3.59 goals against. 2 years ago, .863 save percentage, 4.33 goals against average for Onninen. So, yeah, Justus Onninen still has a lot to prove. I think we'll probably see goals early and often here tonight in New Jersey. What do you think here in this one, William? Colorado, New Jersey.
Yeah, my favorite team. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm all in on Avalanche right there. I mean, as you also said, the last meeting they had, they lost against, they won against the Devils. So I mean, yeah, it's going to be a tough time for the New Jersey Devils to take this down. Avalanche is on a streak. They're going to totally take this. And as you also said, the new goalie, the Anunen, I hope they put him in. It's going to be really fun to see him play. Not sure, maybe. But it would be a really nice play for him to win this game with him in the goal. And also, I think we're going to see really good games from Georgiev and also from Colton and McKinnon. It's going to see them make some magic on the ice.
Colton's
So
been
yeah,
good. I like the addition
yeah,
of
yeah.
Colton. Colton's been nice from Tampa Bay. He's been with a team that's won. He's fit in nicely. There's no question. So, and like I say, because I think we're going to see a lot of goals here, like I said, I like both teams to score first period, over 6.5 full game. It's a good prop game. Anyone on that second line, I would target. Parise didn't do a whole lot last night, so I'd pump the brakes on him. He's trying to work it. And remember, this guy's like in his late 30s now, almost 40. You got to let him get up to game speed. But I think that second line, I could see them doing some damage. Logan O'Connor's been really good lately. He's been a good player prop bet lately. Colton centering that line. And how about Miles Wood? How can we not take a little Miles Wood here tonight for this for Colorado team against his old team, the New Jersey Devils? So you would think Miles Wood definitely is going to want to bounce back. Yeah, Parise tonight because of the old team angle, yes, Cuban with Parise, but I don't know. I didn't see Parise make a huge impact. Looked like he's going to need a few games. But this thing with the player against his old team scoring, it's really uncanny. Look, Pierre Engvall last night for the New York Islanders against Toronto. He was able to score against his old team. That guy had one goal in the last 20 fucking games. And he scores last night against Toronto, his old team. It's just uncanny how that works. It's just crazy. How many times a player against his old team, he'll find a way to score a goal. So if you believe in that, I definitely like Miles Wood more than Parise. But if you believe in that with Parise as well, definitely you could see that happening. But I like Miles Wood in particular. That one definitely makes a lot of sense to me. Parise could sprinkle a couple bucks, but I don't think he's got his sea legs just yet. This guy hasn't played hockey in a very long time. So I think it's going to still take him, a little bit of time to get up to game speed, be at his absolute best here with this Colorado team, no doubt.
Probably 1-2 seasons. It takes time to get back if you're being off it. I mean, thinking his condition. I mean, with everything, the strength, everything, thinking on the ice, skates, everything. To just make that function when you're being off so long, it takes at least 1 or 2 seasons. Maybe 1 season if he's really good and he has really good trainers helping him up in a good mindset. But he's gonna have a lot of trouble as well because the mind's going to play with him, the negativity. Like if he's on the ice and he makes this, this basic mistakes, he's going to have a tough season, in front of him.
Tough to get back into the swing of things quickly.
Yes,
I agree with that
yes,
for Zach
yes.
Parise, no doubt. All right, the final game, maybe one of the most intriguing games of the night because we know what's on the line here for the Edmonton Oilers as they go for their 17th straight victory here tonight against the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. A win for Edmonton tonight would tie them with the Pittsburgh Penguins with Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, Kevin Stevens, Tom Barrasso, the legend Scotty Bowman behind the bench, and that 92-93 Penguins team for the longest winning streak in NHL history. A win tonight ties the record for the Edmonton Oilers. Minus 150, though. My goodness, as road favorites here in this game. Total 6 shaded to the over. So, full disclosure with this number is, this was actually one of the first bets I made when the line came out, and I got it around minus 138 with the Edmonton Oilers. Now that it's gotten this high, I want to say don't bet it because I obviously like Edmonton here in this game, but I don't know. The price is getting up there right now. Vegas obviously went into the break going 5-2 in their last 7 games. We know Edmonton's on this 16-game win streak, and we know Edmonton's never going to have an issue wanting to put their best foot forward against the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, the team that knocked them out in the playoffs last year in the second round in that 6-game series last season. They're definitely going to want to avenge that series, the playoff loss. They've already played once this year in the regular season. It was a 5-4 shootout win for Edmonton. And this head-to-head series kind of reminds me of Vegas and Florida this year, where people are going to look at it and say, okay, Edmonton got their win against Vegas first time they played. Now all of a sudden, this time around, they're not going to be as stoked, to play Vegas and beat them again. Well, 2 things. Number one, the tying the records on the line. And number 2, you always want to beat the team that ended your season last year. Look at Florida. Florida beat Vegas in Florida. They turned around and in the rematch in Vegas, they beat them again. The Florida Panthers, who got beaten in the Stanley Cup final last year by the Edmonton by the Florida Panthers. So when you look at that situation, actually the Florida Panthers beaten by the Vegas Golden Knights, I should say. So we'll see how this goes. Obviously, you've got a Vegas team that at home this year, still a pretty good home record overall. We'll see how it goes. Stuart Skinner in net for the Oilers, Aiden Hill for the Vegas Golden Knights. It's just an outstanding hockey game. There's no question about that. Edmonton's got everybody healthy. That, to me, could be a difference maker. We look at Vegas. The All-Star break really didn't get many of their absentees back in the lineup. Theodore's still out. Jack Eichel is still out. Will Carrier's still out. And Pavel Dorofeyev has really played well for them in a top six forward role, upper body injury, and is going to be out for this game tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights. It'll be his second straight game that he's missed. So still a lot of key players missing in action here for Edmonton. I would say this, if you're going to take Edmonton now, I wouldn't take it the money line straight at this price. I would look for something better. I'd look for a first period puck line or a regulation price or a -1 potentially. But yeah, -138 for me is what I took overnight. And I just said, you know what, Edmonton on this roll, the schedule is going to get tougher. That's the one, detractor you can say for Edmonton, is that the schedule has been home heavy, hasn't been overly taxing, and now they're going to face a pretty good Vegas team. But I think what cancels that out is the fact that Edmonton's got Vegas as their opponent. Edmonton's going to have an axe to grind with Vegas every time they play them until they beat them in the postseason. Edmonton is always going to take this game and treat it very seriously, in my opinion. And like I said, they're finding ways to win. And what makes me think that they can win tonight, keep the streak going, is that they're doing it the way you want to see them do it. Because if you're going to beat Vegas, you've got to be able to match them defensively. And Edmonton's doing that right now. Edmonton, during this win streak, they keep allowing 2 goals or less in 10 straight games to their opponent. They've allowed 2 goals or less. In fact, I think it even goes further than that. The streak of giving up 2 goals or less to the opposition. I mean, they are finally playing good team defense, and Stuart Skinner is playing at an incredible level of confidence right now for this team. He's been outstanding, and that's been the difference in Edmonton being able to put this win streak together, is how they're keeping the puck out of the net collectively as a team right now. So I'm on the Edmonton side here, but like I said, I got a better price on this overnight. This price now, I'm shocked it's moved this much. I mean, I certainly couldn't fault anyone for saying now that it's +130, +135, I've got to take Vegas, because you don't get them as a home underdog at this price very often. But I definitely think Edmonton, though, the way they're going, they've got an axe to grind with Vegas from the postseason last year. So I'm still on the Oilers one more time here in this one. I will say this, if Edmonton's streak ends tonight, though, fade them the next game, because that's the ultimate bubble burst. They lose tonight to Vegas, and they don't get their 17th, and they fall one short of tying the record by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Man, are they going to be probably a good team to bet against in the next game, because I could definitely see a little bit of a bubble burst theory coming into play if Edmonton's streak gets snapped tonight by the Vegas Golden Knights. William, what do you think? It's a great game. Hell of a matchup. Oilers Golden Knights.
Yeah, 2 great teams. I'm looking, as you were saying, that they won against the Vegas, the last match they have. They have a lot of good players. And I mean, Skinner's been doing really good. And also Hyman. So I mean, it's gonna be a tough match. But I think the Edmonton's gonna take this one. As you're saying, they've been letting less goals inside for the opponents they were meeting. So yeah, but I mean, it could be a win for the Vegas as well. But I think the Oilers I'm on the Oilers side this one, actually. It's kind of sad they have -150 on this one.
Here's a funny thing. What do you do with the total here? I'm not betting the total. What I do know is head-to-head, we've seen 3 straight overs with the Oilers and the Golden Knights, and obviously it was 5-4 when these teams played back in November. But Edmonton's gone under in 10 straight games. I mean, 10 straight to the under for the Edmonton Oilers coming into tonight. And we've seen nothing but 4-1, 3-0, 4-1, 3-1, 2-1, 3-2 kind of hockey from the Oilers during this stretch. So be careful with this total. think it's a tricky total. I'm staying totally off this total when it comes to the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Like I say, I like Edmonton. I don't hate the draw. There's other draws I like more, but I don't hate the draw here. I might sprinkle on that just because we did see this game go to a shootout earlier this year with the Oilers and the Golden Knights. So, the draw could be in play here, no doubt, with Edmonton and Vegas here tonight. I don't want to make too much of a deal of the Ryan McLeod. I mean, obviously, that's his brother, Michael McLeod. What he's going through, I'm sure, is on his mind. Will it impact his performance negatively? Will he be distracted? I mean, I don't really want to go there. In fact, I think if anything, hockey is probably a good thing for Ryan McLeod right now. Kind of, so he doesn't have to think about what his brother's going through right now. So I actually think if anything, he'll play well, and he will be focused on the task at hand for the Edmonton Oilers, no doubt. But that's a hell of a game to end the night, no doubt. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm sure everyone is looking forward to that Edmonton and Vegas game. Yes, good point. William Karlsson's back, I should say. That's the one guy that is back for the Vegas Golden Knights, William Karlsson, and a guy that's had a very good season for the Golden Knights, 32 points in 38 games before his injury. So a welcome sight for the Vegas Golden Knights to have William Karlsson, Wild Bill, back in the fold. Yeah, this feels like a Corey Perry scores a goal game. Vegas, it's going to be a physical game, a lot of bad blood. The playoff series last year, you could sense, Cuban, that this might be a game for Corey Perry to maybe dent the twine for the first time as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. So that's not a bad little bargain bin special there if you're looking at a goal prop with some value tonight in this game. There you have it. That is the Tuesday NHL card. Good stuff indeed. William, we'll let you go. You've done a great job. We appreciate it very much, and we'll look to have you back on the show down the road. But
yes,
good luck with everything you're doing in terms of your connection to hockey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the show. Have a good night.
You too. There he is. We appreciate him joining us. William Von Gottsche.
Gotcha. You could use Gucci as well, but I think there will be trademarks right there.
There we go. Good stuff indeed, William. All the best. Good to talk to you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. There he is, William. We appreciate him joining us here on the show. We'll take care of some business now. We do want to tell everyone, patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. Make sure you sign up and subscribe. Daily sides, totals, player props, goalie charts, totals charts, any exclusive Patreon betcasts. And by the way, we're going to be deciding on the dates of the betcasts for the rest of the month. We have our free-for-all public betcast for Super Bowl weekend this Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. But we are definitely we are going to add more betcasts, and 2 of them will be exclusive to Patreon in the month of February. We're going to have 4 betcasts altogether, 2 public free-for-all betcasts, 2 Patreon exclusive betcasts. So the dates for those will be coming, and for the 2 Patreon exclusive betcasts, you'll only be able to watch or join us on the stream by being a Patreon member. So make sure you sign up, patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. And of course, this Saturday, our Ice Guys Super Bowl weekend, Super Saturday NHL live betcast, this Saturday, February 10th, 6 p.m. Eastern, with the start of the Colorado-Florida game. It's a pretty good Saturday night of NHL action. And again, you can DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the betcast, and we will make sure we send you the StreamYard link for the betcast before it begins this Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join us. That'll be our pre-Super Bowl party, if you will, Saturday night before the big game, which happens 24 hours later. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. It is Best Bets Bargain Bin Special of the night coming up in just a moment. But first, of course, we got to hear from our now daily sponsor of the Ice Guys show, Boston Hemp. There it is. Boston Hemp Inc, our sponsor of the Ice Guys show. Make sure you check them out. Be sure to check out all the quality products from our proud sponsor, Boston Hemp Inc, today, and use promo code IceGuys to save 20% off all orders at bostonhempinc.com. And also the Ice Guys store. Make sure you get your gear, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night for this Tuesday card. A lot of good options here as far as a bargain bin special for this Tuesday night at intriguing price tags. But I'm going to go back to that game with the Avs and the Devils. I'm going to go with Miles Wood. Miles Wood on that second line against his old team. I like it. I think he finds the back of the net. I think he's going to find a way to make an impact here for this Colorado Avalanche team tonight. We've got a lot of these situations tonight. Debuting players, players facing one of their former teams. Sets up for being pretty good player prop betting situations when you see those. And I'm going to go with one there. Miles Wood plus 370 at BetMGM to find the back of the net for the Colorado Avalanche. So Miles Wood, Colorado plus 370. Bargain bin special of the night for me here on this Tuesday slate. All right, best bets. Colorado, New Jersey over 6.5 minus 130. I like this total quite a bit. I think we're going to see goals both ways. I think it's probably one of the higher scoring games of the night, if you ask me. I'm still not sold on Justus Annunen, who's likely going to get the start here for the Colorado Avalanche tonight. And whoever's in goal for New Jersey, after a rare night where Colorado gets held to just one goal, I would expect a better offensive showing from this Avalanche team here tonight against the Devils. And again, the last two meetings have flown over the total between these two teams. So Colorado, New Jersey over 6.5 minus 125 for my best bet here for this Tuesday NHL card. That's a wrap. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. We'll have Alex back in the fold tomorrow, rejoining me on the show for the Wednesday edition. So make sure you join us for that. And again, another reminder that once again, we've got the betcast on Saturday night. Very important. Saturday, we don't have many Saturday night betcasts, so we've got to mention it multiple times on the show just to get the message sent out there to everyone that we do have a very rare Saturday night Ice Guys betcast this Saturday, February 10th, Super Bowl weekend, 6:00 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be on the air starting with puck drop of the Avs-Panthers game on Saturday night. So make sure you join us for that. DM or email either of us for a spot on the betcast if you want to join us on Saturday night, Super Bowl weekend, for an Ice Guys live betcast. Looking forward to that. All right, a reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you tomorrow on Wednesday for another edition of the Ice Guys.